Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We've got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time because this is just going to be like a recap video, also combined with all the new stuff we got revealed for Star Wars Legion today, which I think there were a little bit of mishaps because I don't think they meant to reveal everything because, well, I don't know, about 2 hours before the live stream went off, all 4 of the expansions that were coming out to be revealed today showed up on the Asmodee store with a little bit more information than they wanted to give us. So we got actually a pretty in-depth preview of these 4 expansions today. I'm going to go over all of them briefly, and also going to talk about some of the things they talked about during the live stream. So this is going to kind of be your recap for that. But I will probably be taking a closer look at all of these in future videos. I don't want to dive too deep into any one of these for right now, just because I think there's a little more analysis that kind of have to come in. So this is going to be hot takes as well as a recap of the live stream. Also, let me remind you guys, there's still time left for the $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. If you are not already entered, just become a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. And that's about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We've got 4 new expansions coming out today. My prediction actually was spot on in that it would have been the ARCs and the BXs. There was a leak from France that came out a while back, and these were 4 of the 8 units that were leaked. I predicted it would be these 4 because these are the 4 units that are not currently available for Separatist factions, Special Forces, and Operatives, if you discount this, the R2-D2 option. But yeah, so that's basically it. So pretty cool. They look great too. They're very exciting. And so we also got Padme and Cad Bane. And while I will admit my initial hot take on this is the coolest thing out of all of them is probably Padme's functionality with the way clone trooper units are working. But even though she was probably my least anticipated unit, although ARC troopers look really cool too, although I'm more of a Republic player than a Separatist player. And that's probably my own bias creeping through. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite faction, actually. I'm really curious to hear that. All right, so we have a lot of stuff to look at. So we got Padme, and in her preview, they gave us a couple of things. We can see a couple of, she's going to have her own command cards. She is an operative. I did predict that she would be an operative because she kind of handles herself operative-ish. She's got a couple of cards. It looks like there's she's got her 2-pip is called Aggressive Negotiations, which is awesome. So I love the naming convention that they do with all of these. Looks like she's coming with emergency stims. It looks like she's going to have a card called Situational Awareness. I think we're going to see a lot of situational awareness. It looks like everything in this wave looks like it comes with situational awareness. And then a couple of other cards that we can't really make out. Now, the Padme card herself, she's got a white defense dice. She looks like she's 90 points. She's got command, training, gear, and a weapon. She's got quick thinking, which is awesome. A aim and a dodge token. Authoritative, which is like half of what the clone ability is that... oh, no, I'm sorry, that's Exemplar. Exemplar is half of what the clone ability. She's got Authoritative and Exemplar, 2 new abilities. Authoritative, kind of cool here. When you would be issued an order, you may issue an order to a friendly unit at range 1 to 2 instead. So she's already got like a built-in relay, which is really good for clones. So she can play one of her own command cards, issue herself an order, and then pass it on to a clone. A lot of times you want those clones to have face-up orders for a lot of reasons, whether it's some type of aggressive tactics or just simply for fire support. I like her ability to kind of relay the orders around. So that is a nice ability. Functions well with the clones. Exemplar, she's got friendly units range 1 to 2 and in line of sight can spend your tokens. So farther range than a normal clone ability, but it only goes one way. It only goes outward from her to other things, but it triggers really well with quick thinking, so it seems really cool. She also has nimble, so she can keep a dodge, spend it, get it back, and then let a clone unit use it later, which is nice. And then Sharpshooter 2, I think a little unnecessary. I don't think I really want to be shooting very much with Padme. I probably want to be doing like an aim and a quick thinking, or a quick thinking and standby, or something like that. So that's kind of what I think I'd rather be doing with her. But she has, she's got some options. She could potentially go on secret missions, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, because this is kind of just stuff that was previewed from the web article. She's also got, we could see like our fate is in your hands, 1 pip. That's going to give her danger sense 2. So she's going to have, she's going to be, it's going to make her very much more survivable. And like this might be a 1 pip that you play just to go first, give her the order, then it gets passed to somebody else. So you can have you can pick whoever you want to go first. And it also leaves her as being survivable with danger sense and then the dodge tokens and all of that stuff. So, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we got? We've got Cad Bane. So Cad Bane looks pretty cool. Now, a lot of the stuff we see here, we don't know what everything does. He definitely deals with immobilize with his gauntlets. We get a better high-res preview of them. But he also has, he has his own command cards. We don't get to see all of them. But we do get to see, we don't get to see his 1 pip. We do get to see his 3 pip here, and this is one of the divulge things. They talk a little bit about these divulge mechanics. This is something they're going to go into a little bit more. We saw this with Vader's 3 pip. They talked about this in the live stream. You show it at the beginning of the game. I've got this card, and now I get to do something, but because I showed you this card, X happens, and that's kind of what they're doing here. So in this case, like I get this card, and I can place these mines, but because I do that, like something else. It's a little blurry to exact, but you don't deploy him exactly. It basically deals with when you deploy him, and if you get to use the mines, then he has to go beyond range 1 of enemy units or something like that. So I think it's a little hard for me to read that one. I'll analyze that a little bit more once we can break it down and figure out exactly what it says. That one was a little hard for me to read the exact wording on, so I don't want to say, oh, it's good or bad. I don't even know, but it looks kind of cool. It's hey, it's bounty hunter dropping mines. Mines are nasty, especially for deployment too. If you can drop a mine somewhere around deployment, that could be nuts. But the Cad Bane unit card itself. You got surge to hit, surge. We got both surges. Speed 2 with steady. That's the real big takeaway here. I love that he's speed 2 with steady. Steady, snowtroopers have steady, right? So like you can move, shoot, and then move back away. I actually tried to build all using snowtroopers for that ability, and it was hard because they were too slow. It didn't work out as well. I want that to work better. I want snowtroopers to get spur or something like that, but just didn't work out. Maybe they will someday. But Cad Bane has it kind of built in. He's speed 2, so steady with him is really nice. He's got jump 1, which is awesome. He's got them rocket boots, right? He's got bounty, which of course bounty hunters tend to have. He's got danger sense 2, which I play against an opponent who uses pathfinders and Jinn all the time. Danger sense is nasty, even though he's got white dice. Danger sense is one of those few things that actually really can be messed up by, that can mess up Pierce. Like somebody comes, here I go, 1 damage, Pierce 1, no problem. I got like 3 strain on, or 3 stress on, or 3 suppression on me, no problem. Oh yeah, well I rolled 2. Oh my, I don't care that you canceled 1, I rolled 2. So that's like, it shuts down Pierce. Well, it can. It doesn't always shut down Pierce. It's not reliable, but it has the chance to do that. It has the chance for me to turn your sure thing into that didn't work. So danger sense is nasty. Sharpshooter 1. Sharpshooter 1 is always a good on anybody who's shooting. And steady. We talked about steady. He rolls 4 dice with Pierce 1. He's got Pierce 1. So he's nasty. At least he's only danger sense 2. That won't make him that crazy. But yeah, he looks nuts. All right. We got the BX droids. I'm trying to talk too fast here. BX droids are going to be your basic, your first SF unit for the Separatists. And they are going to have 2 versions. They're going to have a strike team and the regular version. They're going to have saboteurs, and they have like their little mine token there. And then they're going to have the full unit. They're going to have a couple of different ways you can build them, which is really interesting. We can see they have a sniper and a saboteur. We can't see what the saboteur costs. He's expensive, like 28. The sniper is like 30 something, 38, 36, 32. It's hard to make out exactly what the sniper costs, but he's range 1 to 5, 2 red, and he's immune to deflect, which you would expect. 2 red, which is awesome for a sniper, but and it looks like they have a surge to hit. It looks like they do have surge to hit, which is really good for 2 red, but lethal 1. They don't have Pierce based in. You have to spend an aim token to get Pierce. So you're not naturally going to get aim. So if I do kill your leader and your other guy comes out, wants to move and shoot, he's not going to have Pierce in that shot. So that's interesting. It's interesting. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. I'm not a big fan of snipers, even though I recognize they're practically mandatory in the competitive scene. I don't like them. I want to win without using them. I always want to. we'll see if it ever becomes possible. So, we also have a Saboteur. We don't know much about the Saboteur, but you have different ways you can build the unit even without using a Saboteur or snipers, because you can build them with shields or swords, but not both. We also see the Emp Droid Poppers, too, which is a new grenade that's going to give you ion. It looks like they have that. Yeah, so you can build them with a sword, with a shield, but not both. We're going to get closer looks at the sword and shield later on. They look like they're... I can't make out their exact cost. But like the strike team's cheap and the full unit's like 68-ish. They have AI dodge move. They have impervious, which is always nice, especially with red defense die. Don't have defensive surge though, so impervious will help them, but they're not. They're tough, but they're not impervious, right? No, they are impervious. They have scale, which is kind of cool to see scale show up again. That's the thing that lets you climb for free at the beginning or end of a move, so you can end at a building, instantly climb up it, then move again to the end of the building, instantly climb down it. So it gets you, it's almost like jump, Scout 3, which is really cool, and a Sharpshooter 1, which is always nasty for snipers. So that much is kind of cool. But you can build these guys to be melee, which is so cool with their swords. And oh man, it looks awesome. And then, of course, we have the ARC Troopers. The ARC Troopers give us the close-up look at the Droid Popper, EMP Droid Popper, range 1 grenade. It really makes me want a more of a grenade-type look. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, so what do we get for the ARC Trooper? Well, we get a heavy weapon. It's going to be ARC Trooper only. It's going to be our sniper, range 1 to 5. It doesn't look like we get a Saboteur, though. It doesn't look like the clones are going to get to drop bombs. That's interesting. That's really interesting. But to make up for that, to make up for the fact that they don't get to drop bombs, they've got Fives and Echo, 2 different. So it feels like this unit's a little bit more like how the Pathfinders have, Pow and Bastan. So they have jetpacks, they've got some cables, or something like that, and then situational awareness, but we can't really see any of that stuff. So we got Fives and Echo. We don't have a whole lot of information on them. They're expensive, but we do have confirmation that Fives rolls 5 dice, so that's good. But your sniper, basically, your 1 to 5 is a red and a black with critical 1, immune to deflect, and also the same lethal keyword. The ARC Troopers themselves do not appear to have any surge for hit or crit. They're going to be relying on those surge tokens. And we don't get, what are they, about 72 and 21 for the team, or for the full unit and the strike team, respectively. And they've got Impervious, Scout 2, Sharpshooter 1, and Tactical 1. So you're going to get that aim automatically, so you can get that pierce a little bit easier. Looks like they're going to have, 2 different weapons. 2 different ranged weapons built in, whereas the BX guys just have the 1. It looks like, I think they just get a regular black 1 to 3 with a single black, it looks like, for their ranged weapon, but they have surge, so that's good, versus the clones, which have 2 different versions, which they have a 1 to 3 black and a 1 to 2 with a black and a white. And of course they do also appear to be clone troopers. So I could see maybe just running these guys as normal clone troopers and trying to take advantage of that synergy. They do not have fire support, however. But you could still spend standbys. If somebody comes in close, that range 1 to 2, they make a really good actual natural range 1 to 2 standby. Interesting. There's a lot of ways to build these ARC troopers. They're going to be really, really interesting, which is. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm kind of excited. I don't know. These guys they feel like they're different enough from the special forces that we're used to kind of get crazy. All right, so now we got talking about the live stream. We've got a couple of cards that they previewed for us in the live stream. They're also on the article today. I'm using the images from the live stream as opposed to the images from the article. So we've got Diplomatic Cover for Padme. This is her 3-pip. And this is one of those, this is kind of how the divulge works. Divulge, deploy unit step. Padme gains info. If you divulge it, you don't have to. So you can look at the game and say, hey, how do I want to play this? She can divulge this card. You show your opponent, look, I'm running Diplomatic Cover. She's going to gain Infiltrate, which, again, you can drop. And then, unlike Vader's, you don't have to deploy her last. When she's deployed, she gains a dodge token. This card must be selected during round 1. So you'll have to use this right away, but you can drop her first. Problem I have had with Vader's, his Infiltrate card is he has to go last. And, of course, Infiltrate, you have to be on distance 3 of opponent's units. Again, I mentioned I tend to play somebody who runs Pathfinders and Jinn a lot. So by the time I'm dropping Vader last, there's nowhere left for him to go, so I end up just having to put him in my own deployment zone. So, it's that makes it a little bit tough to try and run that. But the permanent ability of this card also, it just activates her normally, is if this card was divulged when you play it normally, at round 1, it's going to give Padme Secret Mission. And it's a permanent ability, so like most command cards, as their abilities go away at the end of the round, this one will stay. And if not, then she'll gain Reliable 1. So, you're going to preview the battlefield, see what you think you're going to be running, and, oh, okay, well, that's good. Okay, well, then I'll run it this way. Or, no, I'll keep it secret. So it's kind of interesting. We also got she can get the weapon for a looted E5 blaster if you want to have her having. She's already got Pierce 1, but this gives her better range and a better gun. Red and a white, range 1 to 3. It's not bad. It's only 5 points too. And that's one of the 2 ways you can build her. Not super exciting, but that's kind of cool. Again, like I said, I'm probably not using her to fight. Cad Bane's Electro Gauntlets, we get these kind of close up. Really nice melee weapon here. 4 red dice. You do have to exhaust it though. You charge him up and Doom Fist. But yeah, so not really Doom Fist. He's got to charge them up again. He's got to wind it. No, he doesn't wind it. Anyway, this says you can perform moves while engaged with a unit that has 1 or more immobilized tokens, even when this card is exhausted. So basically, you punch somebody, immobilize them, and then you can move away without having to. That's pretty cool. And it's a suppressive attack as well. So it's suppressed and immobilized. And 3 immobilized tokens is going to stop anybody from moving. And normally, immobilized reduces your movement speed by 1 per immobilized token. Yeah, nuts. And we get a look at his 2-pip here. I am in control. I can't do a Cad Bane. I am in control. No, I can't. I can't do the Cad Bane voice. I'll work on it. Cad Bane and 1 unit. You got Aura Singh there in the background, by the way. And then is that Hondo or is that just one of? I don't remember who that is on the right. And then we got IG behind him too. Look at it. All right. So at the start and end of Cad Bane's activation, he may transfer any number of his suppression tokens to any number of trooper units at range 1 to 2. Notice it doesn't say friendly. Enemy troopers is basically the idea. He goes in, he's surrounded, he's like, poof, drops all those suppression tokens. Well, you remember he's got danger sense, right? So you're stockpiling, you're stockpiling all of that suppression on him anyway, because he gets at least for 2, he's getting extra defense dice every time he defends for each suppression up to a maximum of 2, and then he just. It's like Black Panther. It's almost like a Black Panther kind of thing. Charge up, move in, and boom, release it all. Right? Each enemy trooper that gains at least 1 suppression token in this way also gains an immobilized token. Of course, this factors into his gauntlet, because then he can just move away if somebody, like, he can move into melee on like 1 turn. Like, I've got a couple of suppression. All right, let me move into a melee. Even if it takes 2 moves, I can't fight you. But next turn, I'm going to pop this thing. I'll be able to move away, shoot somebody else, maybe get that bounty. It's a pretty cool card. That's nasty. And as an operative, this is also letting him give an order to another unit, which is kind of important because, especially if you're playing Separatists, you may want to have that spare order to start your B1 line. You just may. All right, we get a look at the jetpacks for the ARC Troopers. By the way, the jetpacks are cool because we have to talk about something else from the live stream. But we'll look at this card first, which is going to lead me up to a live stream question that I asked, and a couple of other people asked as well. So you can put this on Rex or the ARC Troopers, which is kind of cool. While equipped to clone Captain Rex, reduce this card's points by 5. So it's cheaper to put it on Rex. And that's really cool. You gain Jump 2. Perform a move ignoring terrain height 2 or lower. All right, so we know what Jump 2 is, right? I love it. I love it that Jump is coming out. I'm actually looking at like trying to do more dynamic battle reports with like terrain up and down and stuff like that, and I think the jetpacks and the Jedi will probably have more jump abilities. Jump is one of my favorite fun type keywords, so that's really awesome. But it factors into some of the sculpts, right? Like they gave them these bases, so you can have a lot more flying dudes. And that led to the obvious question. By the way, paint jobs, like these are great paint jobs, right? It led to the obvious question, I think, is like, do we have to use those, or is there alternate legs? Can we have them just standing? They said it's not going to be an issue. There is something in the works that's going to make, basically, you don't have to worry about trooper line of sight. We're going to standardize it. They don't want you to have to be like, I don't want to build this guy really cool because, well, like that means he's got a bigger profile now. So it's basically every trooper is going to have the same profile. It was kind of what they said, which means either, I don't know if they're going to have like one trooper that you just, anytime somebody's shooting, let me swap him out and put this one in. Can you see that guy? Okay. You know, they didn't go into details. They're going to basically have this more information on this in the next couple months, which is, I think, next 2 months or something like that. So that's cool. I wonder if they'll have it in place by worlds. But I think the idea is they want you to be able to have these amazing looking troopers and have them an amazing looking battlefield without being punished for it. They want Luke to be able to hold his lightsaber up high without being punished for it. You know, and so that much is cool. But then at the same time, if I have my unit up higher, am I also going to be able to still use that? Oh, well, I can now see you over the barricade, and that's my leader, and that means, oh, you don't get cover now. You know, so it's like, I'm really curious how they're going to do that. The droids have these shields, right? Like, I first saw this, a couple other people were right there with me in the chat, but I was thinking, okay, first off, that looks awesome, and they're going to put this type of acrylic in there that will glue to the same hard plastic, so you won't have to use super glue. You'll be able to use cement, which will not mess up the glass or the plastic. But this made me think Gungans, right? Like, are we getting Gungans because they have the same type of shield? And so, you know, hopefully that'll be a case. They didn't. I asked about Gungans. They didn't. Of course, I knew they weren't going to answer. I had to ask anyway. You know, like, of course, that makes you think Gungans, and it's also a way to just remind them the demand is there. But yeah, so they look great. You can build them with the shield. You can build them. They have like a shield that's going to have a hole in it, so you can point the gun through the shield, which looks really cool in the previews. But yeah, and so here's the deflector shields. Right, you're gonna get shielded 2. They don't automatically come back. All right, they don't automatically come back, but you can recharge. If you recover, then you get to flip your 2 tokens back. So that's kind of cool. I like that. 18 points, though. It's not cheap. Much cheaper is the vibro swords. If you want to go in melee, or you can put the swords on the back, too. It's like, there's a lot of configuration and build options for these guys. Are you getting a red and a white, which is nice. Now, this is a weapon, which means it's going to be per mini, which is awesome. It's going to be a strong unit if they're full. Right? Like, finally a reason to fully build a Special Forces unit and not just go with the strike teams. If you want them to be melee, you know what? That's awesome. Time to bring some Wookiees, and now we'll duke it out, right? And it gives you charge, which is a really good keyword. Really good keyword. I think this will be a really fun way to build them. I think it'll be cool. Maybe you'll mod them out and give Grievous 4 vibro swords. Or a whole bunch of hats. Yeah, oh, and by the way, Cad Bane's hat is a separate piece. You don't have to put it on him if you don't want to. And so now the jokes are like that there's a hat pack coming. All right, so what else did they talk about today? The divulge mechanic, the flight stands aren't mandatory. There's a solution coming for that. I had some notes here. Echo's going to have 5 dice. Oh, Echo and 5s, by the way, from the ARC Troopers. Big thing here. Echo and 5s are going to be heavies, but they're not going to be restricted only to the ARC Troopers. So you'll be able to use them in your Phase 1 clones, Phase 2 clones. That is awesome. You also, Padme can gain secret mission, right? What if you're running Padme in R2? You can actually have 2 secret missions. They confirmed that would be okay. And I think that's about it. Everything that I wanted to talk about. Again, this was kind of brief. There was a lot to get through. Going to go through each of these in more detail in the future, so stay tuned. Click that subscribe button, enter the giveaway, leave a comment, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. That's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.